Yo, what's good? It's Mastermind MMA, and in this video, I'm going to be making some picks for Rockhold versus Branch. Emphasis on some because I don't think I'm going to run through the whole card because I don't know, man. It's not that. You can never judge a card until after it's done because I always give 199 as an example. Everyone's like, oh, who gives a fuck about 199 when 200 is coming up? But 199 ended up shitting on 200. Ended up being an incredible card. So I'm not going to dump on that. But, I'm going to start off with, the homie, man. Christoph Jotko versus Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall is the homie, so not only is this a biased pick, but I really do think he's gonna win. Jotko was David Branch's last opponent. He lost to David Branch, and that fight was a boring ass fight. My man's just coming off a bit of a skid, but when Uriah is on, he's just fucking on. You know what I mean? He could just straight wreck shit. I could see him going for a title run. He's definitely got the skill and the talents too. And I'm not even gonna say like all that. Oh, people try to talk about like the mental game and all that. The mental game is 90% of this shit, you know what I mean? But I'm not even going to touch on that because I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that, and there's just too many variables to just hone in on one thing. But when it just comes to technique, when it comes to skill, when it comes to ability, I believe Uriah Hall is the superior fighter. I think he sleeps Jotko, to be honest with you. So that's my pick. You could call it biased because it is. I'm not even gonna deny that shit. So that's my biased pick. I'm picking Uriah Hall. Who else we got on here, man? I'm not even back on to the main card. That's the only thing I'm talking about on the prelims. And then who do you got? Kamaru Usman versus Sergio Morales. I got Usman. Hector Lombard versus Anthony Smith. I got Lombard. Mike Perry versus Thiago Alves. Here's the thing, man. Mike Perry's getting a lot of push from the UFC. After losing to Joe Ban, they gave him a chance to be the top 10 guy, which is Jake Ellenberger, who is kind of on. We all know what Ellenberger was going through, man. He was struggling, and it just sucks to see him get slept by Perry, but Perry won that, so now they're giving him Alves. I think Joe Ban definitely poked a hole in his game, kind of exposed him. But the thing is, he is a tough son of a bitch, so he's gonna if you don't play a smart enough game, he's gonna sleep you. So I think I might go with Perry on this one because it depends on how Alves comes out. If Alves is trying to just like fight him, I think Perry's going to win that, like a brawl type fight. But if Alves is trying to stick to a game plan and execute a certain game plan, I could lean towards him. But Perry's got that power, so I'm going to pick Mike Perry. And I'm not getting as detailed as to, on my 214 card. On my 214 picks, I was picking, like, the rounds and the finishes and what I get. And then I guess that John Jones shit on motherfucking point. I'm going to say that shit again. But, you know what? It sucks because I can't even enjoy that shit because of what's going on. So, fuck, man. Yeah. And another thing is, just to touch on that quick, unless John Jones releases the B sample, we don't know what it's going to be because it's his right. So I guess if we don't hear anything about the B sample, we know. Like, because if it's clear, why won't you release it? So if we don't hear anything about this B sample, that's us hearing that the B sample is dirty. If you get what I'm saying. Rockhold versus David Branch. Now I get to get a little more in depth because it's kind of something with more substance on it. Luke Rockhold, man, I like him as a fighter. His personality is just fucking. Not only is it cringy, but it's just dry. Just dry as fuck. You know what I mean? He kind of tries to play that Connor-esque role, not to where he's so flamboyant with his shit talking, but he tries to do that like I'm on a whole nother level, da 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 da. But he's just so dry, dude. Like, I don't know, man. He just, from what I get from looking at Luke and just, hearing him talk and all that, I feel like Luke is just that guy that just skates off on his looks. You know what I mean? Like, he's not pulling bitches because he's a cool guy. You know what I'm saying? He's just pulling bitches like solely on his looks. And, he's just like, just so dry. There's nothing entertaining. And he's the kind of dude that the UFC could have fucking pushed like 1,000%. But you can't, because although he has a lot of what it takes to be a star, personality is part of the biggest thing. So they can't even push him. Another thing, he was a straight up douchebag to my man Chris Weidman. After he beat Chris, and it was a close fight up until Chris threw that kick. So, it was a mistake where he got to capitalize on a position and then just, really, really, really utilize that opportunity. It was close as fuck before that. And, Rockhold was quoted as saying, "Oh, I love choking people out. When you take their back, that's the most dominant thing you could do," and da 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 da. And when Chris took his back, he's like, "Oh, why are you taking my back? You don't want to stand and fight," and all that. So, I mean, dude, like, he was not gracious after that victory. I give him that victory. I'm not even making any excuses. Rockhold won that. But, the way he was just like shit talking afterwards and just kind of like really rubbing it in, like, that was some bitch shit. And then the way Bisping did it to him, he didn't like it at all. And although I fucking hate Bisping, Rockhold kind of deserved that. And like, although I don't want to see anything good happen to Michael Bisping, when he knocked out Luke Rockhold, I was like, all right, dude. Like, although I didn't want to see Michael Bisping win, I'm kind of glad Rockhold got knocked out for talking all that shit and like acting he's like this fucking next level thing. But that was then. And, he went through a lot after that, man. Like a few weeks after he lost the belt, his dad died. And, I wish that on nobody. That's a terrible thing to go through. So, I felt bad for him to get knocked out by fucking Bisping and then lose your dad. That's some shit, that's a shitty fucking, that's just like a dark period in someone's life, especially his life. So, I'm cool with him being off as long as he did. When he pulled out from the Jacare fight, I don't know, was he really injured or was he not ready to do it, to fight Jacare? But, keeping it a buck, Rockhold should win this fight. But for some reason, man, for some fucking reason, I just have this gut feeling of an upset. I have a gut feeling of an upset. I feel like Branch might win this. And I'm not picking Branch, I'm picking Rockhold. But I just have this fucking gut feeling. And I had this feeling when Jacare fought Whitaker. I was like, all right, I think Jacare should win, but I don't know. I just have this feeling Whitaker might beat him. And this was like when no one knew what Whitaker was really. Not like who he was, but his ability, how high level he was. I honestly think, man, like, and the thing is, Branch, he's a two-weight world champion in World Series or PFL now, but he was light heavyweight and middleweight champ, I believe, and I believe he defended both belts. He started his UFC run shortly after he started actually fighting, and then after that they dropped him because he was boring, I guess. He went on his run at World Series, and then they brought him back, and then he fought Christoph Jotko. That was a boring ass fight, and now he's fighting Luke Rockhold. Rockhold should win this fight, and David Branch, he's a New York guy, so I rock with that and everything. But he's Renzo Gracie, but I'm sure he's high level, but I haven't seen much of his shit, to be quite honest with you. I never watched a David Branch World Series fight. I watched his Jotko fight, but it's just like he's a cool guy, but I haven't seen anything overly impressive from him. Maybe this is going to be his coming out party. Maybe this is where he's going to have an incredible showing and have an upset, and then he could be in title contention. But I'm picking Rockhold to win. I'm not picking a round or a method of victory, but I think Rockhold's going to win. But I'm not putting the upset past David Branch. I'm not saying this is a mismatch, but I just have a feeling of the upset. I'm not saying why. I don't know why. It's just like kind of one of those feelings. But Luke skill wise should be superior than him. But where is Luke? We haven't seen him since his knockout loss to Bisping. So where is he at? Mentally, he should be on his comeback run, but I don't know, man. We just got to see how Rockhold's doing, and I don't have much more to add to that. It's kind of shitty that it's on the same night as Canelo Triple G, which I'm pretty pumped for, man. I'm definitely gonna be watching that over this if the main events line up. But I'm gonna be watching this. I'm gonna be watching Rockhold Branch until the actual main event of Triple G Canelo. I'm not gonna watch the undercard to that. But the actual main event, Triple G Canelo, I want to see that. But I'm gonna be watching Rockhold Branch. If Rockhold Branch, if that shit coincides, it's a simulcast. I'm gonna miss it then because I'm gonna be watching Canelo. But I just hope Rockhold, gets back on track. I want to see the Rockhold Weidman rematch. I don't want to see that a 3-rounder. I want to see that a 5-rounder. Yeah, bro, that's it. I really don't know what else to say to it. It's kind of a dry card. It's been a slow ass year for the UFC, man. Boxing is definitely in the lead this year, and UFC had an incredible year last year, but boxing had an incredible year this year. So, yeah, man, we'll see what happens with this fight, man, and hopefully this opens up more matches, because then you can insert Luke back into high level fights. I know Luke said when GSP drops out, he's gonna be the replacement. We'll see, man. We'll see what happens. We'll see how Luke looks. We'll see if he gets upset. You know what I mean? So you already know it's Mastermind MMA. I really don't know what else to say about this shit. All right, peace out, guys.